Okay, I think I'm just about ready to get started. Hello, Chris. Hope you're doing well. I figured we'd just do one quick run in PSO. Gives me time to wake up a little bit. We'll be moving into Tales. Chris, if you'd like to join in, we'll talk for a moment. So it's probably gonna play a Force. So if you wanted to try out your new gun, let me know from the previous stream. I learned the hard way while trying to unlock the limiters. I'd forgotten one key detail. So I don't know if I made that clear in the previous video, but I'll just add this as an addendum. I don't know what that word is. I'm too tired in the morning to think straight about what word I should be using there. But basically, I was saying how we were getting about 250 a quest clear. You know, it'd probably take 4 quest clears to get to 1,000. I don't know if I mentioned the goal of the number of times we'd have to clear it in order to unlock the item. So I was thinking it was 10,000 for both, and I learned the hard way that it's not. It's actually 20,000 for the limiter, which is really unfortunate because I don't have enough time for that. But I did almost unlock Excalibur yesterday. It's pretty close, and then my heart kind of broke when I realized I needed to do that twice as much for the limiter, which is the thing I really wanted to unlock. I don't really care about using Excalibur. So get wrecked. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's not too bad. I just gotta do it, I think, literally 40 times, but it only takes about 5 minutes. So it still takes like a good 2 hours. I'm like, oh, you know, I'll have it in like 2 hours. I'm tired, but I think I could do it. And then I realized as I got closer to 9k, I'm like, oh no, it's 20k, isn't it? I'm thinking of Proof of Sword Saint, aren't I? And I'm like, oh, that's just unfortunate. Yeah, I know. It's just depressing. When I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's why I don't unlock these that often. Oh well. It is what it is. So we'll give Chris a few minutes. Yeah, I was like, you know, like, I was willing to stay up later if it meant, you know, that I would have it for today. But then I was like, oh, I have like another hour and a half of grinding and it's already midnight. No thanks. Like, it's not happening. I'm already tired. It's not gonna work. And it's very boring, as I said before. Yeah, I'll probably be playing the Phantasy. I still think she's my favorite Force of all the characters. Although Phantasy is still really good. If we're gonna do episode 2, for example, not today, I'm not awake enough to do that. I think she's probably my preferred Force, just because she's got really good range options compared to the other characters. I feel like the Phantasy is probably still the best at maybe episode 1, because he's got the most ATP, and I feel like that's an episode where it really benefits to have a partisan or a really strong gun. And the Phantasy is just the best at episode 4. But if I need him to, he could play any episode. He's still pretty good. Yeah, he's just probably the worst at episode 2, quote unquote. Because you have to remember the Phantasy gets piercing Negid, so she's actually very good at single player episode 2. I just don't think she's the best multiplayer episode 2. I think that's actually the Phantasy. Just from personal experience. I know. I eventually have to play episode 2 Christmas Fiasco. Assuming that the Christmas stuff is still up. I'm assuming it is. I agree, random person in the PSO chat, that I totally understood. Chris is free to bring whoever he wants. I'm with that person. Okay. Definitely okay, Chad. Oh, I'm apparently the perfect character for today, because I have 103% bonus. Oh, almost perfect. So close. Close to perfect. So if I was playing the Faux Newman versus the Faux New World, I would have had 1% more rare rate, but still pretty good. So it looks like I still have 8 power material. I was gonna say, Chris, if you wanted to correct a character, we'll consider that just another Christmas gift. I do have more than enough materials to give out to other people, probably off stream. I would say you are the first come, first serve at the moment. I mean, I'm sitting there with 99 power material. I have 8 in my inventory, so just this character is 107. I've almost maxed the mind score. Defense, though, I'm actually kind of low on defense material. I haven't been picking up as many. Also, when did I get 59 luck material? That makes no sense to me. I have more luck material than defense material. Like, HP material makes sense. I just gave away like 30 to Chris, I believe. And then I consumed some of my own. So, like, that makes sense. I already gave Chris some of the HP material, but, like, what happened to my defense material? I think the only character of yours that needs fixing is the ROM model. Well, that's true. We were talking about this before. You just went for max ATP. I mean, you could fix her, technically, if you want to. I'd probably wait a couple levels. Just take advantage of that max power a bit longer. I would say probably when you're around 145 or even maybe 140, you could probably swap over. Just because luck is really good, so if you already are using 2 heavenly lucks on her, then you probably could get away with going all the way to like 155. But if you're not using heavenly luck, which I think is slightly more important than base ATP, do you? Yeah, 2 heavenly luck plus like the god ability equals fixed completely maxed luck, and you have good defense. Pretty solid. Although I think 2 heavenly luck by themselves also equals that. So we'll wait for Chris as I decide what quest we'll end up doing. Probably gonna be... No, we could do another Christmas Fiasco. It's fine, it's a fun quest. Just looking at what orange ID gets on this particular run. I know they could get Lieutenant Mantle in the underground from the Goron Detonator. Well, that's right, they get the V801 from the zoos. They do technically get the best hunter armor in the game from Dorfana Claire. If I get one of those, then I will probably... I won't give that one away. I'll have people pay for it for sure. Oh man, it's been so long since we've gotten a Girasol. Man, I was just thinking about that. I was like, I haven't played Blue ID or like Sky or Yellow on episode 4 in so long. Kind of missed the Girasol. It's a good weapon. Actually, now I'm wondering, instead of a Christmas Fiasco, I guess we could theoretically go for the rare boss again, just because, but it's just double XP. But the boss should be worth a lot of XP. I don't know. Guess we'll see how Chris feels. But I think those are probably our choices. Probably this maximum attack E or Christmas Fiasco. I'm fine with either. I mean, this character is built to kill the boss. I mean, technically I could make the Faux Newman built to kill the boss, quote-unquote, but this character's equipment, it's like, it's so rare I would ever use a Congeal Cloak on a Faux Newman that I just like him more with the Fireball. Okay, a couple more minutes, no problem, Chris. What could you do in the meantime? We'll do a free explore while we're waiting for Chris. Thought about starting a quest and then quitting, but nah, I'll just leave it for Chris. Just curious how long it takes to solo these with the multiplayer stuff. I don't know why I shifted myself. I think that's a bad habit. I need to not do that as this character. Uh-oh, almost in the infinite. It's fine. Yeah, I would say that one of the other big major issues of this game, that even though they updated it to be more friendly, I would say, the servers version versus the vanilla Blue Burst version of Phantasy Star, man, it is really annoying how people cannot join your quests once they start, with the exception of the story missions, which makes even less sense to me. I would think you wouldn't be able to join a story mission midway through, whereas the other ones, it doesn't matter. But alas, here we are. Lupold's asking what server. Oh, we're playing on Ephinea. Just realized I don't think I put that in the stream title today. At some point we have to give away all these materials for sure. They're clogging my inventory again. Hopefully you're doing well, Leopold. I'm just waiting on Chris to join, and then we'll... I don't know, I guess we could do Christmas Fiasco, or we could do a boss. I'll leave it up to Chris, which one he finds more fun. But in the meantime, I'm just getting free XP, instead of just standing still in the lobby. So I think at this point we've shown off every character. We have most people at fairly high levels with the exception of the Humar. And I would say my only goal left before the Christmas event ends is to show off Christmas Fiasco Episode 2. That won't be for today, not at all. Yeah, definitely if people were interested in joining me in the Ephinea server. I don't know how many people still play the game, quote unquote, but I don't play like as often as I would say I used to, but definitely for almost every single holiday event, I'm always there. I'm on there a lot of hours. Even not all of them make it to the stream. So yeah, we're playing with I mean, this is multiplayer, and this character is very easily soloing this. So we're in a pretty good state with most characters, I would say. Like, oh no, Rappy's doing like 40 damage. Oh well. He showed me. It's super far off from leveling, honestly speaking. 530,000, not bad. That's like 2 episode 2 quests with double XP. It's honestly not bad at all. Nothing of interest in the boxes. One day we'll get an interesting chest rare again. Like a photon crystal would be nice. I'm gonna check one thing. We're good. But I do find really interesting, I don't know why it is like that in this game, but this game uses a custom mouse cursor, which is, you know, not uncommon. But I'm surprised that the custom mouse icon doesn't show up on the stream. Just one of those weird things I was noticing just now. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't use that to point at certain things on the screen while I'm talking. So like when I'm opening up the item reader, it just looks like I'm using some kind of key command for it. They're like, no, I'm using the mouse. Rest in peace. Another power material? And we're at 9. I'm overcapped, chat. I need to break that habit. Why am I shifting? This character has no ATP to speak of whatsoever. Bad habit. Hopefully we'll hear a word from Chris in a couple moments. And we'll get started with the real quest of the day. In the meantime, I get to farm. Maybe we'll get presents, who knows. It is technically the Christmas event in Ephinea. So that means that we are going through rotating doubled bonuses. So I think this week should be XP up. For people looking to make new characters on the server, like, this is your chance, I'm telling you. If you even are remotely thinking about playing again, today is your day. I guess in theory, I could, not today, but probably on Tuesday or Thursday. Technically, I can make another chat created character. It is double XP. I'm actually thinking about that now. I just have to do it before Friday, where I think the bonuses reset. So if chat wants to make me power level another force, I mean, that'll take, like, what? Double XP, 5 hours to hit level 80? As long as I have the mind material, which I have 99 of. So technically I have everything I need in order to just power level my brains out. Yeah, if you haven't seen the, I think it was like, we called the video Power Leveling a Force on the YouTube VODs. I highly recommend it. It's kind of funny how quickly you can level with forces. As long as you have like a mind mag and some decently high level techniques. Man, they're the fastest leveling character in the game. There's a couple characters where we've definitely put in 6 hours or less and they're already level 90. Remember some technical difficulties, but you're okay now. Okay. Just let me know, Chris. You could join the game. I'm just in free roam. Mowing down random satellite lizards and yaois, hopefully for some photon crystals. It looks like that is not to be the case today. And then you'll have to let me know if you prefer to do beating the episode 4 boss, or if you just want to do a Christmas Fiasco. Oh, I didn't take one micro step that I needed. Bad gameplay. Oh well, time to grants. Goodbye. Maybe Fiasco, you wouldn't mind getting more coal? Sure, we could do that. It's gonna very briefly restock. Almost sold the power material. I mean, it is burning a hole in my inventory ever so slowly. Hopefully, Chris, you enjoy that new handgun. Hopefully get some levels with Pulvatina, Zoralmara. I think Chris is going for the early ATP cap, so I think he has like 100 plus power material. The rest might be defense, maybe. I don't think he's using luck material. I actually really recommend that for just trying to clear your first character. I would not worry about getting perfect stats the first time you make a character. I think that was the mistake I made, and that drew out how... that made it much slower to clear, to be honest with you. Like, 1 Heavenly Luck is greater than trying to beat the game with, like, 30 evade, 28 luck material, blah, blah, blah. And Heavenly Luck is really, 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 really easy to get in this game, as long as you get to Ultimate. It's actually shockingly easy how easy it is to get. Anyway, you said you wanted Christmas Fiasco? Let's do that. I mean, all you have to do is have a specific ID and go into episode 4 and defeat a rare Rappy, aka one of the most common rare enemies in the game. I'm like, oh, okay. You'd probably find that without any rare enemy boost within like 3-4 hours. Rappies are extremely common. We might even see one today. Honestly speaking, they're pretty common. Oh yeah, you have to get used to the gun speed. Good luck with that, by the way. Feel free to use that over Spread Needle in almost every scenario. It's honestly really godlike. So I'm using Freeze here just to stun lock the zoo. Just to explain what I'm doing there. And this wave... Well, goodbye, Chris. Rest in peace. Oh, you have 1,000 health. I'm surprised you died. Oh, maybe you got ass starked into the Dorphon. That is annoying. I'm actually also going to use Freeze here. The Dorphon is the most annoying thing here. I'm going to get rid of Magical Piece for a moment and do more freeze damage. Yeah, Astarks are kind of annoying in multiplayer, not because of the damage they can deal, but because they push you into things that cause set damage. It can be very annoying. We'll take it in the face. How else am I gonna build Photon Blast? Put out a Gafoe just to stun lock a little better the zoos. Gives me a little bit of time to reposition. Like there, I just got all 3 zoos. And unfortunately, I didn't freeze that one guy, so I got punished. Okay, I dropped 1 zoo out of the freeze loop. But honestly, only dropping 1 zoo is not bad at all. A little risky to take that damage, but worth it. I didn't actually do the math there, I just believed. Now the downside here is that Rappy, it does a ton of base damage. And unfortunately not all of them followed us, so I have to pull the rest of the room at some point. I can't shift to Chris. I'm in actually a stun loop. I need Chris to help me. I think I'm actually getting infinited. Oh, we're free. So another downside to the Rappy is that if at any point your back is against a wall or like a massive Dorphon, it can just kind of stun lock you until the Dorphon and or wall moves. And in the case of the wall moving means you die. You just teleport out. Multiplayer is a little silly with the iframes, I must say. Not a fan of what they did for that. It's like that in the base game as well. It's just one of those quirks, unfortunately. Where like single player iframes are perfect, but I don't know if they half them in multiplayer or what the deal is. But you're not able to act out of stun anywhere near as well in multiplayer versus single player. And that leads to a lot of weird enemy infinites, which is really unfortunate. Because again, that's not a thing in the single player. Oh, like that. Goodbye me. This is extremely bad. I want to see if I could back up into a moon. There we go. So far, just kind of blah. Things are dropping, like Razan 15. I mean, I guess if I'm looking to round out a Ramar or something, not that I'd ever use that technique. I guess it's there for me. So the basic plan is that I will be rotating to Magical Piece. Whenever I need to use Gafoe, I'll be switching to Cleo for grants, because those grant bonuses in the respective areas. Or Chris is getting murdered by Dorphon Laser. And if there's anything I'd like to use Ice on, I suppose I should be using the Ice Staff. It's actually 50-50 whether or not Grants is better than Gafoe in this scenario, because there's 2 of them. Not that there's one, Grants is better. He's already dead. Fortunately, I was a little far away from the Rappies. They ran away from me. Just found a Heavenly Battle. Another example of how easy it is to get extremely good endgame units with like no effort with the Force. We just got one of the better attack units of the game, literally only topped by P101, aka arguably the best unit in the game. So hey, if you want to raise a Ranger or a Hunter, it's just much easier if you have a Force that could do these kinds of things. Just saying. Because Gafoi just wipes out entire rooms by itself. Like, even in multiplayer with their, like, double health of the Dorfon, I still clear these enemies out so quickly. I've given a bit reprieve from the laser nonsense. Since I got 100 on my Photon Blast gauge, it gave me Mag Invincibility. It's part of a 50-50 thing. Let's go ahead and debuff for Chris. And I guess I'll switch back to Gafoi. Though my invincibility is about to wear off, which will be sad. Want to never dip below 720 health or I'll die to set damage. So, like, this is okay. That's okay. This is getting really low in health. I think he was waiting for me to heal or something. Not entirely sure. I'm gonna try fluid there. It's okay, we'll revive him. I'm mostly looking just to deal damage to them, rather than get in a heal loop with them. So I was just straight up tanking it. I guess I'll use a mono fluid. At some point I need to die and go back to restock. This quest is a little too hard to do with just 2 people without restocking. Like, unless Chris literally hoards, like, 10 tri-fluids or whatever. At some point, I have a planned death just to get resources. The gimmick of the Chris's Fiasco is that I can't use Telepipes or Ryuker, but that doesn't mean I can't death abuse still. I mean, I guess they thought about it, but it doesn't work. I just time my death in a way that it's beneficial to me. You tri-fluids? Okay. Let's see. Pushing me so close to the wall, all I see is rock. It's always fun. So I'm gonna ice loop them since the zoos actually both die bombed and behaved for once. It's kind of rare. When the zoo gets low on health, I'm gonna switch back to Gafoi. Like that. And we'll get some free damage on the next wave. Like there, I just stopped Dorfon because I was using Gafoi. Nice. Oops, wrong debuff. The Dorfon almost dead. Satellite Lizard's almost dead. Another power material. I think we're at 10. So I guess if I really wanted to, I could make another Ranger and just consume all 99 power materials. As I said before, it's better just to honestly just cap your attack power. It's much easier to raise your luck score and cap it than it is to cap ATP. Because even with the pure power mag, wearing like 3 heavenly powers still might not cap you. Whereas if you just go completely crazy with power material, and then just put like your remaining points into defense, I think you're just much better served. Like in theory, you could do 150 power material. That I think might be a little overboard, if you're already level 80, that is. If you're level 1, it makes sense. But if you're already like 80, 90, I feel like 120 power material into 30 defense is just a better ploy. So most of the time you can cap from there if you're also using a power mag. So it's like pseudo max ATP. Oh wow, they were really not letting me heal. Jerks. Okay, I froze one of the Astarks. This gives me an opportunity to do something. There we go. Excellent, excellent chat. So, probably in a little bit, I'll use the Mag Blast with Chris. I'm assuming he has it by now, because he's taking a ton of set damage from these crazy enemies. Once I'm done with these zoos, I think I'm gonna Photon Blast. So I know there's a bit of a delay when talking with Chris, but I think he'll hear it before I do it. Okay, I'm gonna back up. Using. So I usually go with Myla because this character's ATP is just very low. And because I'm doing Myla and he's using Dolphon, or Dolphon, excuse me, he's using, look at the name of the dolphin actually. Estella came to me. He's able to deal damage and clear a whole bunch of enemies out. He says Estella, but I already did it before he gave me the hint. It's fine. I'm still waking up, chat. My bad. So now we're enjoying level 41 shifted D-band, which is higher than normal. So his single target gun damage is completely stupid with this on. Probably kill most things in 3 power attacks. As long as he has any crit, the enemy will probably die. Just grants this guy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna Gapoe. I feel like Dorpod's coming. Oh, I didn't get crisscrossed by Quad Fawn. I mean, that works. I'll take that. I'll try to keep Chris alive since he's got a super buff. We'll see how that goes, though. Chris is leveled. Nice. He's now at 1091 health. Every HP matters in this mode. Oh, I didn't quite kill with Cleo. So close. Oh, Trifluid drop somewhere. Nice. Oh, there's defense material. I can't believe defense material is the thing I don't have. It's like not having enough evade material. It's like one of the most common materials. Ridiculous, chat. Absolutely ridiculous. I know how, like, I have more luck material than I do defense material. That doesn't make any sense to me. Living in, like, a parallel universe. Like, I think literally defense material is more common than all the other materials. Other than maybe evade. And then luck material is even more rare. Oh, I got insta-killed. Rest in peace. So anyway, so remember how I said that there's weird things going on with the iframes in this game? I died due to bad iframes there, if you're curious. So normally, multiplayer Dorpon set damage is supposed to be 720 damage, but there's a weird bug, which I haven't replicated in single player, I'm assuming it's multiplayer only, where if you get hit on the same frame, you just don't have iframes after taking damage, so I died instantly. I actually took 1440 set damage. And there's nothing I could do about that. It just happens arbitrarily. I think because Chris went in slightly before me, maybe. It messed up their normal spawn pattern. So I just spawned into insta-death. There's nothing I could do about that. That wave is probably one of the worst ones in Christmas Fiasco. just due to the fact that you don't even have enough time to go Bowie to stop the Dorphon charge. Like, see how that Dorphon ran up to me but didn't hit me? Like, that's an example of where you can normally counterplay their set damage charge. But for some reason in that one, they're like, no, wouldn't it be fun if we could just make them instantly get hit by Dorphon? So that's a very rude wave, and if it kills me, I don't know what to say. There's no counterplay. There's no button you can press to get out of that fast enough. Even a V801 character. Well, I'm not actually using V801 with this character. The V801 character with the staff using Gafoe, even with all that speeding up the character, is not fast enough. Oh, got a photon drop, nice. And the males unarmed are also not fast enough to interrupt that. But that's just kind of unfortunate, really. We could blame PSO for that. I don't think they play tested that particular spawn. They should have moved the Dorphon back even just another Dorphon unit of length or more, and that probably would have fixed the issue. Like, you would have barely been able to fast cast it, but it still would have led to counterplay. Oh well. This is loving the new gun. See him using the last Swan, which I do think is the best female gun in the game. It destroys bosses for sure. It is very good. Highly, highly recommended. Now that one is actually fairly hard to attain for multiple reasons. One, you need a lot of photon crystals. So unless you play an event in Ephinea, the normal drop rate of a photon crystal is basically like 1 in 800 from the Yowies. And not only do you need a photon crystal, you need potentially dozens of photon crystals. So that would take you like 40-something hours to accrue, maybe 50, just to give you the right amount of odds just to randomly acquire the gun. So it's not a good feeling to go for. But if you play the special events in Ephinea, more often than not, you could trade in the special bonuses for a photon crystal. Like, for example, we just completed the anniversary event about a month ago, and that let us, I think, get over 10 photon crystals. That's 10 different attempts to get that gun. I think I used 5 or 6 trying to get Chris his version of that gun. And that quest is also not easy, by the way. You fight a lot of forced rare enemies. So if people haven't seen that, maybe we'll do that on stream next time. Maybe I'll get another last Swan. I mean, I'd appreciate it if we can get another last Swan, but we'll see. I was just trying to think of things to show off that people might find useful. We've showed off different quests I do on different section IDs and like where some of their strengths are in different quests. Like episode 4 is very generically, every force is good here, except for maybe Fomoral. Unless you're playing solo, then it's fine. Fomoral solo good, but anything else bad. She just doesn't have the AoE damage that some of the other characters need. Fortunately, Chris died. I can't buff him since he's running away from me. I think this is one of those opportunities where if Chris had a partisan, he probably should have been using it for sure here. There's just way too many enemies to single target. Go ahead and Ice Staff. Okay, now that they're low on health, I'm actually going to set up for the next wave. I'm going to switch over to Magical Piece. Because I had a feeling we were about to beat Dorphon. That was correct. Oh. Rather unfortunate timing. I appear to be getting a phone call while in one of the hardest waves. Sorry about that, chat. Another heavenly battle. Huh. Alright. I mean, I'll take that. Yeah, to get a phone call on this wave in particular is very unfortunate because it requires a lot of concentration. But it wasn't anything important. Yeah, things are okay. Yeah, I was worried it would be work-related, to be honest, but it wasn't work-related. Go up to 2 defense material, not bad. Heavenly Battle, I'll definitely be giving that away. I'm not going to charge for that. That's just one of those things where it's kind of whatever. I'd rather just help new players. So again, if anybody in the chat is watching and they're like, dang, I really want some of these units or materials, now is your opportunity to speak out, honestly. If you're making a new character, I really do not mind helping new players. Or even some people that are just looking to create ults, honestly. Just sharing the love of the PSO is good enough. Gonna say Chris is probably not used to the power of being able to delete the Marissa like that. Speaking of which, I have Mag Blast, so I'm just gonna not do anything for a while to signal to Chris that I'm ready to Mag Blast. Okay. There we go. See, it's PSO body language. When a force is not using spells, they want something. I think that's better than the countdown method. It gives Chris a visual cue. Ooh, Gerda Bulu. Hello, Gerda Bulu. Huh. I wonder if Chris has max accuracy, because I'm seeing him miss a lot. I know the thing waves its arm, but... Oh well, time to nuke it. We'll face tank as the force, it's fine. Oh, not max accuracy. That makes a lot of sense to me, because I'm like, even when it flails its arms, I think you could still hit it. It gets like hidden accuracy bonuses when it does that, but... Or evasion, I mean. Chris could probably move slightly closer. I think he'll miss a little less. There we go. Nice and simple. What I always like to do in episode 4 is I never bother starting with Gafoe on a fresh wave. The reason being that if I can end with Gafoe, potentially the next wave will end up eating the Gafoe. Case in point. If anything here is weak to fire, this is a 3 damage on the next wave. And this is a really good wave to do extra Gafoe. Well, I gotta shake out. Almost died there. I'm gonna dive fluid into Arresta and pray. I think Chris has these 2 Marissas, though. Oh, I didn't get the freeze. That was really unfortunate. I'm in a healing loop with them, which is really bad. I want to get out of this. Oh, I mistimed the Rabarda. Oh. Okay, I'm out of the loop at least, thanks to Chris. On my screen, they're both in the wall. I guess have fun with that. I'm gonna wait for them a little bit. Okay, you decided to free yourself of the wall. Okay, then I'll kill you. Oh, I'm too close to the Gardevoir. This is bad. Do my best to kind of wound both the Marissa. Oh, I'm gonna die here. No, I didn't die? Okay, not punished for being at 560 while near a Gardevoir and a Marissa. I'll take that. I'm actually gonna ask Chris to verify if he's using Heavenly Battle. Something about his attack animation looks weird to me. I literally got stun locked. That sucked. If I die-mated, I wouldn't have died there. But rest in peace, me. We have a V101? Really? Maybe that's just a multiplayer bug. Because his shots look really slow. Because normally it's like it's really quick. But I'm watching Chris do it and it's like It's very slow. Very strange. I'll just consider that a multiplayer bug, I guess. It's a very fast gun. Having used that for hours and hours and hours, I'm like, the pace of the gun does not look right. Weird. Oh, like there it was fixed. Yeah, it must just be a visual bug. Also, I'm getting stun locked again. Oh, I didn't want to do that, actually. Hey, Try, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it must be a visual bug, because he shot the other time went bop, bop, bop. Like, they should all be really close together. The other time it was like bop, bop, bop. Like, it just sounded really off. Yeah, it's probably just a visual bug. I'm like, ESO desync? No. Also, I can't chain lightning this because I Photon Blast again. That's kind of annoying. The chain lightning is preferred to stun loop things here. Yeah, I guess I could use it. I'm gonna walk over to Chris. Yeah, Chain Lightning comes out faster than Razond, so it's more likely to interrupt their attacks and stun loop. Males that are unarmed can get the perfect stun loop. Females actually cannot perfectly stun loop without the use of a V801. Which is kind of unfortunate. Male privilege for forces. Hopefully you're doing well, Try. Ooh. That was such a good room up until I got hit by that Rappy. Almost a perfect play of that room. But unfortunately, as I said before, without V801, I can't get perfect stun loops. So I have to do like very small micro steps. And even then it's not perfect. It's just kind of a workaround for an issue that the females have with their spells. Unfortunately, I need to get more V801 eventually. That is an item that has eluded me since the beginning of the game. Now that is an annoying item to get, for sure. Watching my BP2 playthrough on the TV in the background, poor soul. I'm so sorry. It's like not bad in the beginning, but man, what is it, chapter 2? Ugh. That difficulty spike in between is gross. I was gonna say, if you don't remember it being rough, it's probably because you did a lot of grinding. I'm not a player that grinds normally. Yeah, it is a very unforgiving game, for sure. So yeah, if you're a player that spends like 5 hours plus collecting all the enemy parts, then I think that's where the game is balanced for difficulty. Like, it is mandatory that it expects you to do that, unfortunately. So from a casual RPG standpoint, where all I'm looking to do is do the plot, it was definitely way too hard of a game. Not to say it couldn't be done, as you'll see with the rest of the playthrough, but... I was gonna say, you're probably closely coming upon the infamous door, if you haven't already come across it already. Yeah. I feel like that's what people say when they say like a game is really easy, and then I'm like, how many hours did you play it? And they're like 60 hours. And I'm like, oh, that's why you guys spent like 30 hours. You spent half the game grinding. I'm like, no wonder why it's easy. Like, I'm not really impressed anymore. I'm like, of course, if you beat a boss that's meant for level like 20 and you're level 36, like, of course you're not gonna be in trouble. Thank you, Chris. I think that's kind of like an ongoing thing with Jupiter and, what is it, Harmony on the Game Boy Advance collection for Castlevania. So I'll probably have similar issues when I go to play that game. So I just intend to go basically point to point, very little fighting. Yeah, VP2 is something else. It's its own monster. I will say though, I did have fun towards the end of the game. First unintentionally, and then actually at the end intentionally. It just took a while. It took to basically the post-game dungeon for me to actually have real fun with it. But until then, it's like, Yeah, people had a lot of fun making fun of it. That plot gets so stupid, Try. I hope you strap in. Because there is a plot drought where nothing happens in the story for like 14 hours, and then it's just the series of the world's stupidest events, and it's hilarious. I ironically recommend the last half of the game for the plot. Like, what not to do with your plot. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say. Yeah, maybe Try will have the same opinions that I had as we go through it. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, like, the big appeal of something like a VP game is that the characters themselves are very memorable, and you feel either attached to their plight, or you kind of want to continue, I would say the story where they left off. Like, for example, in VP1, there's kind of like a multi-character arc, where mercenaries of a squad are slowly getting picked off, and you're, like, kind of cleaning up the mess left behind from those kinds of events. So you kind of have like a continuous story, or you have like moments with Lazard, for example, that is kind of compelling because it's very interesting to interact with Lazard, put it that way. But in VP2, I didn't really feel that way. I felt like you got a lot of on Harryar, and most of them have no personality at all. It's kind of a shame. They feel very flat, so I don't feel motivated to pick them most of the time. You'll probably hear me complain about that in the playthrough as well. But yeah, I was just like, they kind of took everything I felt appealing from it. Yeah, they were so pointless in that game. Yeah. It just felt kind of lazy. Like, I don't mind them having random on Harryar, as long as they introduce them in a cutscene or something. But yeah, you'll hear me make that complaint a couple times, where I'm like, I don't care about them. Yeah. I think at one point I just started reading their descriptions in the manual, where they have like all this elaborate history between the characters and character personalities, and it like barely shows up at all in the game. Like, some characters get battle quotes when they're paired with others. That's like literally it. Which I think is neat, but it's like no one wants to read your manual of VP2. That should not be mandatory for just basic understanding of what a character is. Sorry. Just don't believe in that philosophy. I don't know. That was kind of a thing that started happening around... well, Final Fantasy 13 abused that pretty heavily, but before Final Fantasy 13, somewhere in that era, they decided that it would be very enjoyable if all the plot was in the manual. Not really sure why video games did that for a while. It's kind of like the... I guess they're going back to SNES roots, etc., where games didn't have complex dialogue, but they could kind of have like flowery language within the instruction manual. And then I think they went back to that, which is kind of unfortunate, because they decided that that's where, you know, all the heavy lifting should be done. It's unfortunate, really. Yeah. You'll see some super cheese, don't worry, Try. I still managed to break the game, even without power leveling. You should feel proud of me when I get to those moments. All on my own, chat. Did not look up anything for that game. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, Chris remembers what's his name? The little boy boss. Remember him? Oh my gosh, the cheese was real. I think I could categorize that boss by going, wee, running around in circles. Yeah, I mean, that's that. Yeah, it's like old or it. Yeah, exactly. What a dumb boss. I love it though. So, yeah, you'll see me exploiting the AI as we get a little further in. I think like the first few playthrough sessions, I'm just trying to get used to all of the combat changes. Because it is a very different game overall compared to VV1. There's a lot of weird quirks with that game I really did not like, and it took me a while to understand what was going on. Like, I think I actually died due to one of those quirks towards the end of the game, like against a very important boss, which really sucked. But yeah, the squad system, a little weird. I don't like, for example, that, oh, I'm getting stun locked. This is really bad. Need to Robarda this. Okay, I'm gonna have to Trimate to break out of this as well. Oh, the skill gaining in that game is trash garbage, and you can't tell me otherwise. That was one of the worst systems I've played. That basically ruined the game for me, I'm not gonna lie. I had so little fun trying to hunt these items down. I complained about that in several sessions. Like, that right there is like... They took away a system that worked from Star Ocean, essentially, and then they made it really bad. Oh, I'm getting stun locked. This is really bad. This is really bad. Chris, I need you to shotgun them or something. I'm getting mauled. I can't do anything. I need the ball. There we go. Oh, there we go. I finally got out of that. That was really scary. I actually used the frame 1 healing items, which is not very common to use. Okay, we're good now. Yeah, the skill system in that game is absolute trash. It requires you to grind in order to get the skills. So, unless you really understand what enemy part leads to what item, you're just not going to have a lot of skills throughout the game, which is what happened to me for the first half of the playthrough. Until I finally got moves that made sense to me for breaking armor, as you'll see later. Yeah, it felt really, really bad to play. For sure. That game is like grinding for the sake of grinding. Like, not only do you then have to get random items in order to get progression, which is a really, really bad way to do progression, but then you still have to grind out the skills. And if you over-level, by the way, Tribe, I don't know if it's apparent as to where you are in the playthrough. If you over-level, it makes skills take even longer to learn. So if you've just been grinding unsuccessfully to get items, and you've been leveling that entire time, instead of it taking like 5 or 6 battles to learn a skill, it could take up to 99. It's so bad. I don't know what they were thinking. I know, it's so atrocious. It's like a grinder's game, and then it punishes you for grinding. I'm just like... it blows my mind, honestly. Honestly, some of the worst design decisions I've ever seen. And you'll see me get confused with the equipment menu. You know what they were thinking? That they hate the player. Because the menus are absolute garbage to sort through. You should see towards the end of the game, Try, when I have a full equipment item list, and I can't sort them the way I want to, and I'm just looking for one ability in a sea of like 400 items. I'm like, oh my god, where is the item? I actually need it. I'm not kidding. Where is it? It's so bad. And the worst part about that game is you can't sell items safely, because you might still need the skill on them. So it gets out of control, for sure. Oh. Okay, pick that up. So yeah, highly not recommended to play VP2 for the reasons that you can see. It's one of those things where maybe with like a slightly cleared file, it's not bad. Like if all you wanted to do was run the post-game dungeon, I would say that's actually doable. I think that was like the most fun I think I had with the game. Oh yeah. It's bad. It's really bad try. I want people to understand when they watch VP2 how many bad design decisions they do. And why I will never play that game again. Unless it's the post-game dungeon loop. Then I don't mind that so much. When I actually have all the skills, I'll go back and play it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not playing through as Face Tank Alicia. I'm not even sure if Try's at the point where Face Tank Alicia becomes a thing. It takes a little while to get to that point. I want to say that's around the point of the difficulty spike. So, have fun watching the boss balancing, by the way. It'll go like, oh, this isn't too bad. You're just visiting a castle. And then, look, more areas opened up. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just shake your head. When you get to that part, just shake your head. Oh, I should have been using Cleo. I would have killed. Oh well. Have to leave some Gafoes out for the Marissas. I don't want to spoil too much for Try, but I was just thinking of what happens when you actually beat the game. I remember actually laughing out loud. I think I go, oh, hell no. Pretty sure. Like, oh wait, why would I do this? Never doing this. Oh, VP2. I was gonna say, I think Chris knows what I'm talking about. It's like, hell no, not doing that. Why would I do that? In your dreams, VP2. Yeah. I feel like the few people that I talked to... There's a couple of people on stream that came in, I think, to say that they like the game. And again, I feel like when I was talking to them in particular... There's a couple I talked to off stream, so I'm not sure how much of that is in the playthrough. But a few of them, I'm like, how many hours did you put in? Like, I'm not even kidding. At one point, I don't think this particular conversation was on stream, but I did ask at one point how long it took for them to clear VP2. And I kid you not, chat, their first playthrough, they're like, yeah, it only took 80 hours. I'm like, excuse me? 80 hours? Excuse me? I'm like, that is way too long. I'm sorry. No way. I know, it's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, this game was meant for you because you like to grind. I'm just saying. Just like, I can't even imagine. I don't even think it took me 80 hours with the post-game dungeon full clear. Ridiculous. You're on part 4. Okay. I'm getting through there. Again, I think the beginning of the game is not too bad. It's just when you get to chapter 2, everything falls apart. Which I should rename the video title to that. Just, everything falls apart. It's over. Yeah, that game and Fantasia made me take a break for a while. Playing both of those close together was a big mistake. It was absolutely brutal. Until Chris is typing and waiting for Mag Blast. That's fine. Rest in peace, Chris. I mean, I guess I could always just Mag Blast at some point, but I am surrounded. Actually, this is really fortunate. I'm getting boinked down by the Rappies. I'm just gonna heal until Chris saves me with Partisan or something. Yeah. This is just one of those waves where Partisan makes the most sense. You can hit like 12 targets. The DPS is insane, even without a buff. I'm gonna Diamate into a Shifted just for Chris. I was hoping to get a freeze to get out of the loop. You could get in some really nasty sandwiches in this game between enemies. So unfortunately, if you don't just instantly delete enemies, this is what happens. Let's buff Chris. Take that damage for Chris. Yeah. There's like sometimes I play a game and I regret my decisions playing it. Like, you know, I made some mistakes and like I'll own up to it. But honestly, VP2, I don't think I made any mistakes. It's the game's fault all the way through. Bad. Bad game. Oh. Yeah, we'll just kill this enemy and then I think we'll do. Yeah, take this play again, exactly. Good to go here. Use a mono fluid. Because I'm already capped and it doesn't matter. It just saves me time later. I'm gonna go use the healing circle and then we'll photon blast the next room. I'm out of buff range for Chris for some reason. Weird. Like reposition there. I actually can't carry any more fluids. Take the dye fluid back. Yeah, we'll use Mag Blast on the Gorons here. I'm just gonna debuff them and then use Mag Blast. Probably have about 20 minutes left in the quest. More like 25. Because it does take a while to get through the funnel waves. Poor Chris. I'm hearing that miss animation. One day. He'll cap accuracy one day. Especially if I give him an adept, which I owe him. And that'll give him 20 accuracy, I think. Fix to all resistances, more defense. Excellent item. So Chris is not leveled up again, but I imagine he's pretty close. We're at 384,000, which is kind of high for level 132. Going into 133. 300 to go. Yeah, that's not much at all. Oh my gosh, stop it with the extended arms. Stop that. Okay, killed the zoo. I'm gonna put some Gafoes out. Good call. I feel like when in doubt, if a wave feels like it's inconvenient to kill with Gafoe, more often than not, the next enemy will require Gafoe. Ooh, Chris died, not good. I'm in a really bad position where I can't debuff, so unless he has Spread Needle, I don't know what we're gonna do here. Ooh, that was really risky. If they had used Freeze on me there, I would have died. Almost dead. One Gafoe should kill all of them, but they'll not let me use it. It's fine. I think Chris is good to go now. Just rolling my eyes every time the Marissa hits me. There we go. Mind material, interesting. I'll pick that up eventually. Just gonna consume all my mana fluid so I can hold another item. So the 2,000 I blew on the mana fluid is less than the 2,100 I'd get from carrying an ultimate shield, for example. First level, nice. That makes him a little tankier. We're able to survive the nonsense on screen. And because he's a raw Marl, he's probably getting accuracy every level. And that just helps him not miss their ridiculous evasion totals. Two mine materials, okay. Well, I'll pick them up in a little bit. These enemies are going to take a lot of chip damage, which should be pretty easy for Chris to kill once these last Scapoes come out. So he'll just be doing Marissa cleanup. Nicely done. Sadly, Chris is probably on his way towards another level. I feel like he probably needs another 300,000 or so. It's been a while since I've had a 134, but it can't be that much. So Chris will just let us know his total very soon. Especially after those kills. Yeah, 324,000. That's about where I thought. Thinking it could be like 345, maybe, at that level. So he's not going to level again off of this quest, but it'll put him a decent of the way towards the next level. We'll get at least another 100,000 XP. Or like another 80, I mean. That just makes this character even better for Chris to play with solo. More defense, more damage, more defense. More importantly, defense. Moon Atomizer, check. Die Grinder, nope. Oh, luck material, where did that drop? Like that. Every level counts in this? To an extent. There's kind of like damage thresholds and defense thresholds you need to hit. So either you can get to it via levels or you can cheat it with materials. So like for Chris, I would say levels matter because if he gets to 1200 HP, he goes past a certain threshold against certain enemies in multiplayer, so he's less likely to be insta-killed if something damage stacks. And if he manages, for example, to get to base defense 400, with this D-band, it causes enemies to not be able to do enough to, like, infinite you. Now, the downside is this character caps at 390, so if you're wondering why I'm getting infinited to death, is I literally cannot get the minimum defense needed to survive. But my recommendation is once you go over 400 base, you're pretty good. After that, extra defense is kind of arbitrary. It's like a difference between taking like 80 in a crit and 50. Like, it's pretty significant per hit. So yeah, if you're wondering why I die a lot, this character is the worst defense in the game. I can't do anything about it. I'm literally capped, and it's still terrible. And she has the lowest HP in the game. So, like, normally if I was level 178, I'd have 200 extra health. And that would also stop me from getting infinite to some extent. Oh, that was scary. Yeah, like, you can see I'm taking about 400 there. Like, if I think the magic HP total, where I think you're set for the game and you can do everything in multiplayer as well as single player, is probably 1420 HP. Actually, no, 1422 HP. That's the magic number. If you hit that number, you can survive anything in multiplayer outside of one boss, and you have counterplay against that attack, and it shouldn't ever matter. The other important threshold, I would say, is probably 1502 health. The 1420 is just in case set damage stacks in episode 4. You don't die to it. And the 1502 is so you could survive the episode 1 Deathbringers. Because they do base damage 1500 in multiplayer. In single player, it's much lower. The HP threshold can be so much lower. But alas. There's also kind of an inverse HP total, where if you're around 700 health to 800 health, you actually want to stay there as long as possible while doing mines due to, as I said before, the iframe bug that exists in multiplayer. So if you're over, I think, 880 health, you no longer get knocked down by the Baran's missile, which is really bad, and you'll just die instantly. So your goal is to either be at below 1,000 by, like, a lot, or you go straight to 1,400. Anywhere in between is kind of death, which is why I'm dying a lot, because I'm in between. You don't want to do that. I'm probably going to die here. Oh, no. Got lucky. Got lucky. I'm going to use freeze here, just so there's less hitboxes going against me. Yeah, there's a lot happening on screen, unfortunately. Oh! Could have died there. I could just get one more Gafoe out. This will deal with a lot of the things hitting me. Good. Okay, Chris helped break out of that cycle. Even really ugly. Yeah, ATP is really key. You don't get level ups that impact luck, but luck is probably the second most important skill in the game, as long as you're not a force. And in fact, there's a certain point where if your ATP reaches a certain number, it's better just to max luck than to actually keep raising attack power, which I find kind of funny. I feel like that magic number is 1,000. If your base ATP is 1,000, luck is more important than ATP at that point. Like, 20 luck will be so much better than 20 attack by then. And you have enough base ATP to scale, since that determines a crit chance. Kinda crazy stuff. I mean, I guess technically the lowest, I would say, swap around where ATP is less useful than luck is probably 900, because I think then you can use Excalibur. It's the moment you can use Excalibur, you just need to crit with it. But I feel 1,000's a bit more realistic. Easier number to remember as well. Oh, I'm getting the quasi-infinite loop on these Boron detonators. Kind of rare. I said before, this character doesn't cast fast enough to infinite stun loop them, so I have to improvise. Now, surprisingly, I've gotten so much experience that I'm gonna level this character on stream. How rare. I would really love a chance to debuff them. Thank you. Again, I'm just going for the freeze to reduce how many things are hitting me, since I'm kind of acting as the face tank of the group. Which is funny, because I'm technically the squishiest character in the game, but I'm also pretty high level. I'm gonna get a couple of Gafoes out here. Killing them is even better than stun locking. Oh my gosh, their base damage is so high to me. Why though? Yeah, I really wish there was a way to raise my defense higher. The only thing I can think of is I'd have to get rid of 3 seals, and I'd have to wear something like Red Ring. I think Red Ring would fix all my defense problems, but it would be an otherwise poor choice on this character. You can't take advantage of anything else it does other than defense. Actually pretty low on die mates, because I ended up in a lot of infinites today. Or quasi-infinites, I should say. Technically, the frame 1 die fluid / die mate lets me break out. I should just call them the healing loops, I suppose, where if you Resta, you'll never escape it just by using Resta. You'll just always be Restaing. So I got 2 extra defense, which is meaningless because I have max defense. But I got 5 MST, which is okay. I think I could finally kill that one Marissa. Oh, I'm at 1301 health. Okay, I'm above 1300. So my max HP will never reach 1400. So I'll never be safe playing this act, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Yeah, again, it's better for me to have those extra 3 health. There's no downside to it. If I go beyond 1600 health, I think that's another cap where if that happens, you actually make the game harder for yourself. PSO is weird. It shouldn't do that, but that's just how the game works. It's like, oh, you're at 1600 health? Oh, then just die. Never get knocked down by anything and perish. It's pretty bad. So weirdly, having high health is bad. So this character is also really good at staying within those HP thresholds. Yeah, PSO just does PSO things. It doesn't have to comply to any forms of common sense or logic. It does what it wants. Anyway, we're coming on to the final room now. Might actually have to use Star Atomizers for their intended purpose rather than Mag Feed. We'll see. I have Mag Blast, so I'm probably going to debuff into Mag Blast. I'll wait for Chris to hear it. Give him that little cooldown. Oh wait, it's immerse the room first, that's right. Never mind. Mistakes were made. Pray for the freeze chance. No? No freeze? Okay, no freeze. Fine. Wow, 4 Rebardas and nothing froze? That is bad luck. Except for me, I froze. I froze. Ah, no! Don't die! Extra health! You saved me! Yay! I did it, Chad. I didn't die. Even though I got frozen near double Zoo Marissas. They had mercy upon me briefly. Also, that is the worst freeze luck I have ever seen. I think that was 10 Rebardas and none of them froze any creature with 3 attempts per Rebarda. That was pretty bad. Okay, this wave I'd like to debuff and then Mag Blast. There we go. I feel like Chris is gonna play this character versus Dark Falls later, and you're just gonna laugh. You're gonna have like a little bit of a giggle when you delete Dark Falls single player. Because just think, with the single player Romarl, Chris, you could debuff her defense while still getting 20 shifted deband. Like, she has no chance against the Romarl. Might as well just call it the delete button. She's gonna perish so fast. Yeah, that gun it absolutely destroys Dark Falls. It's so good. Especially since you'll be doing like 300 a hit and she'll only have like 6k a phase. So it's like, oh, I just did 2700 with 3 triple power attacks. Oops. I guess Dark Falls dies in 4 power attacks or less. Or 4 power attack combos, I mean. Like, okay. So we're almost done. We probably need a little more time. Probably 10 more minutes in here. We had a little bit of a slow clear of the previous room. I think mostly due to me being infinite, so I couldn't attack at all. Rest in peace, me. But we're getting there. Let's see, Try has been enjoying the sound effects the past couple of streams. Quite a few Valkyrie profile voice clips in the store. Hope you find amusement from it. Unfortunately, there wasn't a clean way to get any VP2 voice clips, so the chat can't troll me with "My hands are stinging" just randomly. A terrible line. I know. I tried really hard to get sound effects from that game for the chat. I tried really hard. I couldn't do a try. Even with like Sound Rift, I still could not get the voice clips of that game. So if you're able to do it, let me know. Her poor hands are always singing. Yeah, multiple people tried. Chris tried, I tried. That thing is a mess. I even like directly opened my copy of the game and I still could not get the voice clips, even with extractors. It was so bad. I was just like, I don't know what they stored this in, but that's probably why VP2 is so jank. Oh, like, the file structure makes no sense. Just can't find it. Tell your currency you could create chaos. You could. Sound effects are there for the chat to enjoy and to add a personal reaction to different things. I feel like we have so many voice clips that you could probably have a voice clip for almost every like imagined scenario. Like, the only way I could really add to that is maybe adding the Magulu chatbot voices there, but I don't want to do that only just because if we do happen to play Chaos, it'll confuse me to hear her voice if it's not related to a sound effect. Or, excuse me, not related to a Chaos action. I mean, technically it's there. With Spell Absorber, it's there, but that one I kind of expect. Like, that one's kind of specific. I don't expect that to be spammed as often. But if I hear her other voice quotes, that'll confuse me for sure. Especially the Pandemonium, my favorite. Yeah, like, those are kind of expected. That's fine. You can pseudo-juke me with those, and it's not, like, game-changing. Yeah, these enemies are just kind of unfair. Once they get you pinned against the wall, it's over. Speaking of it's over, I'm in a triangle. I'm probably gonna die here. I can't get out of this. I need Chris to please help or do something. I'm getting wrecked. Okay, I debuff one of them. Maybe I'm out. I think I'm out. Oh, I can't go through there. Go the long way around. Alright, we're out. They gave up on me for some reason. I'm not really sure why they did that. They could have infinited me. They just chose not to. Oh, that was scary. He teleported in front of me. Okay, just don't triangle me. We'll be fine. Being pushed out to the center of the room, and the room wave I don't want to be in the middle of the room of. Let's go over here. Go to our safety corner. Rebuff Chris. So we're almost on the final wave. We have one wave between us and the Gerda-Bulus, and then this run will be over. That feeling when you put a Gapoe out to stop the Zoo Laser, and the Zoo lasers you anyway, and then it lasers you after it gets Gapoe'd. That is the worst feeling. That is the absolute worst feeling. I died instantly, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. I died in, I think, a frame. Not an exaggeration. That is just so unfair that I could not deal with that Marissa because of the Zoo Laser. So unfair, chat. I think I got to cast a spell that entire time. If I had not been Zoo Lasered, I would have literally killed almost all of those enemies before they reached me. Shy of maybe one Marissa. Yeah, that was a big waste of time, unfortunately. Goodbye, 30 seconds. Anyway, I'm back in my safety hole. And we're about to enter the final wave. There we go. What's a quick Cleo, and we're just going to be doing grants all day long. Well, my Zalora could triple debuff from this distance, but I can't shift it debanju from that same distance. How does that work? Oh, maybe Cleo enhances debuff range, actually, now that I think about it. It does have something else it does other than raise grants, but it very rarely comes up. Well, we're almost done, chat. Probably 2 minutes. Mostly just clearing out these final Gerda-Bulu and restocking. We could say goodbye to Christmas Fiasco. Oh, we're at a phenomenal 583,000 experience. What a crazy quest. I'm sure Chris is probably sub 300,000 to level at this point as well. Go ahead and use our remaining fluids. 1600. Wow. Oh, do you not have a bringer's rifle? I meant to ask. This is like the place to use it if you had it. Chris had it the whole time. He was just making life tricky. That Chris. He just wanted to use that gun so bad. Yeah. We can blame Chris now officially. He had a gun that literally defeats Gerdabaloo, didn't use it until the final one. It's okay. We love you anyway, Chris. Just getting PSO trolled. It is shiny new gun. I know, you couldn't resist. Yeah, that gun, the Bringer's Arm, is so good against multiplayer Gerdabaloo, people that are not aware. It just does so much potential damage. Like, they have 1600 health. The first time you hit them, it could potentially do over 11,000 because it does 3/4 of their max health, or current health, I mean. And yeah, that just kind of deletes them, and I don't have to spend as long on them for sure. They opened a present and they received Lavis Cannon? What a disappointment. Ask for a refund. Terrible item. I think I know why people use it, but it's just not a good weapon. I feel like Steel J Sword does everything that does, but better. So I'm not really excited. And there's also other weapons that drain your Photon Blast that are much easier to get than both of those. Yeah, like Steel Jade Sword, it makes sense you have alternatives to that, but if all you're looking to do is drain Photon Blasts, I mean, there's other weapons, I'm pretty sure. The Lavis Cannon, I think, requires you to have this Cresta? I don't even remember what that item is. It's not a word. It's just their made-up item name. And that allows it to transform from, I think, a gun to the double sword, which I think is the thing that has what they want. Something like that. I mean, I have those, I just never use them because I don't like the weapon that it goes to. I'm at 13 power material. This is so silly. Oh, he banned 29. I mean, I can't use it, but maybe somebody else can. I'll give that away later. We have other things we should be doing today, though. Magikazam, exactly. Try, redeem, show us the cap. Speaking of which, I just want to see something real quick. Okay, that is working. I feel like one of my scenes was not properly displaying stuff earlier. But this one seems okay. I should probably fix Mag Synchro. Goodbye, Star Atomizers. And gonna collect the coal, and I guess we're gonna switch over to a new game.
You fiends have no future.
They do have no future. Thanks, Arngrim. I was gonna say, try has discovered the sound effects store. It's pretty good. So we're gonna transition over to another game. So we'll chat very briefly, and then I'll get everything set up. So thoughts and feelings towards PSO. I think it's still a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoy watching it, or if you want to in the future, by all means, please join in on the Ephinea server. If it even remotely interests you, I could probably power level you. But yeah, tons of fun. Chris got to show off and play with the new gun. We got to level new characters. So I think overall, Christmas event went pretty well. We'll play a little bit of it throughout next week, but it won't be as intensive as it was this week. So we'll be slowly transitioning to other things like Hades as a common staple. So for now, I guess we could say goodbye to the YouTube audience, but for the people still watching on Twitch, we're going to be switching over to Tales of Eternia.